Hey guys, it's Aries. Welcome to your reading here. This is going to be a really interesting message. I did start a brief part of this on TikTok, and if you're seeing this on, well, this is only going to be on YouTube, but I'm first and foremost pretty sad about the TikTok kickoff that we have going on. But I think it's a great opportunity for me to start utilizing YouTube more, allowing myself to take my time and really deep dive into messages. And it's a perfect time to do so, especially for everyone who is a channel, to really start igniting their voice and speaking their soul's messages. Especially when it comes to large-scale collective networks of things and how everything tethers and connects, and especially when, you know, how we genuinely feel what's happening collectively when something catastrophic is happening in one place. We will get the ripple effects of these things. Everything runs in a stream and in rivers that all meet somehow, somewhere. It's just a large network. This message is going to be really connected and tied to that. I am going to leave a little, it's literally just going to skip over to the next thing, but I'm going to insert really quick in here the TikTok video that I made regarding this, and then we will kick off from there. Thanks for sticking around. Wasn't intending to be making this reading today or delivering any of this information, but it just decided in the moment that it was ready. It's information and knowledge that I have gained over a course of, I want to say, several years now. It's been 4 or 5 years that I've been receiving this type of energy, and it's time to really just kind of display some of the things that are ready to be delivered, and this will be in reading form. I think that's a really good way of even further expanding the magic, and it will also connect to yourself and many other individuals in this collective to get ready for this next chapter and really hone into the preparation that has been made and taken opportune for over the years. I'm gonna catch you up to speed on where I'm at. Okay, so I sat down to eat my bagel. Spirit decided, no, it's not, you're gonna grab your cards and do this. I start shuffling. That card kind of just falled out. It's the Judgment card. This is going to be very interesting, okay? Because in this space, we're going to talk about your power and your spirit team. To spare me the 10 minutes, I'm going to shuffle in really fast and pull the cards, and we'll get into it. I'm going to free pull, and we will move forward from there, okay? So I wanted to first start out by saying what, this is a very high vibrational, pretty direct, and authoritative energy that's coming through right now, and I feel it. I feel it in my voice, and it's in my chest, and it's not even intimidating. It's just pure power. There is this growing energy inside of you. I literally, as I say that, it felt it slithering up my body, and it's this is you overcoming lifetimes of trauma and karma and baggage, and you are in a space of ascended mastery that you are starting to glow. You're starting to really become the born creator that you are missioned here soulfully to do and become, okay? If you resonate, this is going to start getting into starseed stuff. If you resonate with the term starseed or connect to that region of things. I want you to first stay here and hear me. But two, if you want to continue going into this type of energy, I want you to go to my, and my little thing there with the links. I didn't want to say it. I have my YouTube on there. Please, if you would like to go follow me on YouTube, I'm really going to intentionally utilize it after whatever happens with TikTok. Sorry for pausing in this reading. But I have a lot that's really about to come through involving all of this stuff. And I would really like for you to join me if you are so called. Because there are many people on here that I am mutuals with and that I follow, that follow me, that I've watched. It's like I've been able to see their timeline before it has happened for them, right? But my job isn't to rush in and talk about it. It's to wait for the milestones where they have, met the self-realizations in their process and in their journey, to then be like, okay, this is the next message. It is time for me to lean into this and deliver a message, because I know it'll meet them in their timeline where it's necessary. That's how I read. That's how I soulfully am drawn to help people. I'm a helper. Anyway, I'm gonna get into the message here, and you might be going through like this space where like you're really unblocking the voice of your soul to come out. Something about your voice is going through a process of evolution where when you're finally out of the, call it like the spiritual healing hibernation, you'll have a new voice, and it's going to be your voice still, but it'll be your soul's essence voice, and you speaking already with this to the world around you. It's going to really solidify the switch, and it's going to connect you to your divine channel, to where your voice will speak fully directly from the soul, and your soul is going to be able to drive its messages and its missions without the physical world's density, programming it from feeling confident and ready to unleash what information is really, digging through the programming of our channels to finally break through and come out collectively. The channels are awakening to a new level of being able to share truth and share messages and share information, especially with what's going on. And it's interesting that all of this is happening now at the same time, okay? Especially when it comes to exposure and disclosure of ETs or, UFOs, whatever, UAP, that world. The moon here. Let's get into the message a bit more. So the moon here, this is really telling me, with the Judgment card, it's telling me the soul is coming through the moon into us, okay? I believe deeply that the process of judgment happens through the moon, and that's because when we move through initiative milestones this way, we initiate deeper into another level of soul learning, integrating, processing, evolving. And with this huge energy coming through right now, and this is collectively say, but this is very much in the tie to the galactic nature of how this world is actually created and curated, and what it was once supposed to be opposed to what it has become. And it's time to illuminate what Five of Swords has been done. The channels are going to be exposing the information of what has been done. And when you are someone who can hear a situation about maybe perhaps what's happening in one part of the world, or to, different places where large catastrophes are happening, and you see the media saying all of these different angles of things, but you simply have that knowing, you need to speak up, okay? You need to share this information despite the type of persecution or fearful reaction you might receive from a only certain percentage of who will retain your message. And even then, it's going to benefit and affect, their prolonged learning, because they'll be able to have the memory of someone telling them something, to where if a moment happens where it can be validated, it's going to happen. This will cause collective strength, even in places where fear might be luring after the entirety of it all, okay? I saw a video, and it was like NASA's up close video of a solar flare, and what came out of the sun. The flare looked very specifically like a dark angel, okay? And I want to say that with this judgment card here, and the councils of judgment that I have witnessed with my own being, walking, and I mean like late at night in nature and across, large spaces, I see a very broad range, and they're dark and cloaked, and they bring the light, and they are maneuvering and readjusting where necessary. We're going to go to part 2. So I'm just letting it all out. Thanks for letting me talk, guys. All right, part 2. So I want to go into talking really more deeply about these beings representing the Judgment Council, because I have had a very deep personal experience with them over the last few years, because I've really leaned in. That's just like that the direction my soul was called to learn deeper about and really work with. And that's a part of my soul. Is I come from a background of experience in several different planes of reality, where I worked with curating basically the cyclical motioning of the reincarnative experience. That's pretty broad to say, I know, but this is also like the type of energy, that type of stuff is something that you need to get used to learning about, holding as knowing in yourself, and expanding on with your guides, because there is a big level of, it's like a council that's coming forward, and it's like they have waited for you to get to this specific milestone of your journey, especially as a channel, to open up a new level of sacred keeping of information and deliverance of the divine for the world, and it's like you've been in like moments of evolution, like DNA upgrade, kundalini experiences where you have like maybe gotten really sick or something like pretty severe happened to you, and it's almost like it's happened in different regions of your body because the kundalini serpents are rising, and as it rises and as it truly heals and moves through like every layer of your being coming up, it's healing and mending, but it's also inflaming and shaking up a lot of, toxins and false programming in your DNA and in your organs and in your tissue, in your bones and in all of the spaces. It's shredding it up, and it's like those things are screaming because it has lived maybe in your physical body for so long. And so if you're having inflammations of like severe things come up, just know and trust that like it's a part of the process, and what you can do in those moments is rather not fear and hold on to the light of knowing that it's healing, and you sending those signals through your nerves and speaking to your cells in such a way is going to etherically catalyze them to work under their brain. Does that make sense? Because their brain is still your brain. Everything is like this golden serpent. It's like the Kundalini experience is really about like the evolution of the soul, igniting the true larger auric field and experience of a soul in earth, in a physical, being vesseled in a physical entity. And as that happens, it really comes alive. It's like it was conscious before, but it really like drops in and becomes the being. The observer is now in the vessel. It is now, it's like, it's the Merkaba, right? It's the Merkaba really comes online when the soul starts integrating into the body, becomes, like when the body becomes more than the body in not just subconscious ways, unconscious ways, but very conscious, knowing, active. The soul is able to use the steering wheel to act, and this is your higher self being in integration with you at all times, and more so rather being the one to walk your body, and it's that allows you to flow and move better. And so it's in the snake, flow, move, glow, and let go of the past, sure, but it's almost like it does more than that. It completely heals your brain, from the trauma that has held you back. Now, here's the thing, is the longer part of the process is your brain sending the signals to allow the body to heal, but in the time that it takes to heal. Because if the body underwent the entirety of that healing at once, it would shut down. And maybe too, like, that's the thing, is you can experience, I'm glad we can talk about Kundalini energy here, because it's very intense energy. And some people say, like, that they're really truly a part of the Kundalini experience, but when you know, Kundalini energy can knock you on your ass and make you feel like you're dying. It can shut your body down for short temporary periods of time when it is calibrating a healing on you, and it will feel like you are not going to be perhaps alive because of the intensity of experience of whatever processes it does in your body. Like, say if you are in the solar plexus region of your Kundalini experience, it can have you feeling like your internal organs are dropping and falling apart, and like it feels wrong. It feels intense, and it might have you maybe like paralyzed, like having to sit down, physically rest, and perhaps be paralyzed in the intensity of the feeling of its working. And like, say if it's in the heart, my experience, I felt like my heart was shutting down. I felt like it was like it was making my heart flutter. I was having heart palpitations, and it felt like my rib cage was like crushing and closing in on itself. But the thing is it was so intense and real, and I can feel it, but it was so phantom. None of that was happening. My heart was pretty intense, but despite it was all phantom, but I was feeling it on such an intense level. And so that is the intensity of what this type of energy can do through its processes of evolving. Another big thing that I want to disclose is as it breaks through, you will go through like these periods where you literally feel like complete crap under these, processes, and then like you'll feel like you're dying, and then you'll wake up the next day feeling more alive than you ever have. Okay, and then all of this sudden it's catalyzed a whole new timeline, and you're like seeing all the synchronicities, and somehow now like your physical pain became a spiritual, catalyst, and it plays into your physical realm more intensely the further you move through that journey, to where your matrix will become controllable by you. It's like you have the control board now because you have soulfully integrated to be at the control board. And so you're bending your matrix and bringing in the probabilities that are necessary. But here's the thing, is there is a really big part where it is still being like scrubbed and cleaned and, skimmed out of the collective pond, let's call it. I like that. Collective pond. It's muddy and it's dirty with the idea that we don't have a higher connection to a higher divine collectivity that is also us, but that is also like helping us. But like the thing is like so many of us don't realize that that's actually purposeful, or so many of us maybe use our manifestation abilities for like more, and it's not incorrect to use your manifestation abilities for self-attainment, because that is very important for you to do, but it's maybe the type of things that we as humans deem importance of, like what we want to manifest. Most people, want to drive towards the manifestation of materialism and money or whatever, and they really want us to know that our ability to use, we're here to use those tools to manifest the collective matrix. So create the collective matrix into a sustainable one, rather than, it's important to have fun through the process, and we're here to experience all of the intensity of prosperity and love and gratitude and fun, but there's a lot of directing the use of that. And if you're someone who is just kind of naturally connected to having fun in the regions of humanitarianism, or environmentalism or anything like that, like, utilize that more. This is your sign to, like, don't get caught up in maybe, like, the external world's fast track to materialism, fix. Pull out of that stream, because that doesn't lead to this pond that we are at. It kind of like, we need to, and I'm very much guilty of this as well, where we have moments where we're pulled off course, but it's really a time to hone in to being on course. And honestly, I think that that's a significant, like, silver lining in maybe TikTok going away, is because we'll maybe be more intentional rather than doom scrolling. And I think that despite, like, it's already there, we're going to see and experience and hear the collective knowings of what's happening around the world and all of the things still anyway. I think it's going to break through because that's where we are collectively. I think it has less to do with TikTok than we really see or know, because it's so much bigger than that. And I know we haven't really gone into this message yet, but I appreciate you allowing me just to talk. I also want to do, like, partly this is kind of like podcasting readings, right? So going back into this energy, as we are collectively being more intentional, for, like, a higher purpose, something that is larger than all of us, but can take, like, we can create something together that is so much larger than us. This is the type of energy that's really evolving into the timeline. And it's like that pond that has all of those, muddy particles and is being cleaned out. We are truly learning how to hone into being intentional about what we're bringing into this world, especially with collective effect, and also knowing that when you apply your energy towards collective positive effect, it is actually encompassing an even larger light pillar, light shield, not just around you, but the collective that you apply it for. And that's also why it's so important that we know our capabilities and our potential, because if we had not known that, we wouldn't maybe get some sense of excitement that we have the capability of doing something larger, that our magic can expand to even larger, spaces and planes and people and things, and ripple to new horizons and chain react timeline shifts like it's nothing. Maybe you can make eye contact with someone and it just, like, sort of shifts, because your natural silent telepathic communication and healing that comes through your eyes when you link just, like, goes in. And it's like it's a blessing to be able to experience you. And it's important not to focus on the people and things and places that are like tricksters to this, or want to, take you off path because they're not on the same path. It's like, don't go off course because someone else who is on a total different course of intention is trying to, like, run into yours, because they smell non-relation, and to them that's offensive. So you better relate, and they're gonna keep pushing, and then they're gonna keep pushing till they can get some sort of reaction, or get to see you in a space where they can see you somehow, like, relate to them more. They discern you, and that's because they have intentions that kind of react and go nuts when they see you. That's what you need to not focus on, okay? It's like this old skin. Maybe before you empathically cared about that, but now it's not anymore. There's this red bird too. It's like yelling. I feel like that's like a part of your guides. That's the thing, is like, I feel like there's this very like authoritative, intense, like powerful, like, okay, so this card came out as like the Judgment Council, right? And you don't mess with them, you honor their moral, but it's also too not just about like doing it because they have the authority, it's doing it because they are you. Um and it's almost like that's your initiation experience of, you know, really leaning into your intentions, and it's the weighing of the heart against the feather to know if you're truly pure of intention of something. I mean, even in these moments where maybe you're like getting situation, like these other people are like trying to cut you down, because they can't smell the relativity, and then they like either lash out or compare themselves to you. Those are perfect times where you feel like you are sort of like being pulled to the seat to be like questioned or whatever, and you feel like someone is trying to like, you know, figure you out in such a negative, discerning way. I want you to meditate, put yourself, call in your angels to take you into judgment. Put yourself on those scales. Weigh your heart against the feather. I want you to see what happens to the situation after that. If you are, you know, really worked up because you are, you know, you are trying your damnedest to be pure of intention and still let go of your ego despite what maybe that type of experience does to you, you know, like, you know, being caught up in like, not, I wouldn't say you hate yourself for like being in the experience, or like not, you know, knowing exactly what it is to do, like, or not feeling like you have the right to use your voice to speak up against some type of persecution like that. I want you to put yourself in judgment. I want you to call forward the angelic judgment councils to take you into the space of the underworld to be thoroughly placed upon the scales, and then in that space, as you step on, I want you to watch what will happen to your energy after that. There have been several times where I have literally been like, am I the bad guy? And I have been in, you know, total just like paranoia, because I don't want to be that bad guy. No one wants to be the bad guy, but some people want to be the bad guy, but they don't want to claim that they're the bad guy, whatever. Like, you don't want, it's not about not wanting to be the bad guy, but it's not wanting to have like poor effect on someone. And so that shows you care to tend to the parts of yourself that might be damaging to the collective, and so you really care for the higher learning that you can do to evolve and become just a better being for the world around you. And so that's when I step into the scales, and the times where I have stepped onto the scales and been in a space of complete paranoia like that, it's like I've stepped on, and then after like a few seconds, it has become this huge beacon pillar of light encompassing my whole body, and then like my body starts like rising up into this pillar of light, and then it like becomes a part of the earth's toroidal field as like one beacon amongst like all of these freaking beacons, right? And it's just creating this like, yeah, the toroidal fields moving. And I always take that as like initiating into the next layer and level of collective divinity, okay? And so in those moments where it has been as such, and then that's happened, and then coming back down, and then it's like, I'll go through the experience and then it gets really intense, and then like sometimes the light just becomes so blinding to where I don't see much, and it's just more of like a bodily feeling, an essence feeling. And so I sit with that for a while, and then when it starts to come down and I come back down into my body and it starts to soften, I'll start getting the information about like the logical truths of a situation. And oftentimes I have been trying to peel back the layers and heal the idea that when someone is using their brain to think up a storm for you, that can cause you to feel that paranoia. And it's the idea of you experiencing all of that is you intuitively being sent the information. Your guides are letting it in so you can hear it, so you can see it. But they need you to know that like the depletion you're feeling, the like grogginess or fogginess in your head that you're feeling, or paranoia, or the lack mindset, or limiting beliefs that are literally so random. You'll be feeling great one moment, and then all of a sudden it just like scoops in over you. That is someone else, and you're feeling them going through something. Your guides really want you to know that, and that's something that I've really had to learn through the process, because I'm a person of accountability, and maybe that's a part of my bias, right? I'm always looking at things at an angle of like, well, no, how can I, or how does this relate to me? What have I done? Like, but it's like maybe taking on too much accountability to where you create a bias around the truth of a situation, which prevents you from seeing, it's almost like it's one, honestly, collectively, it is one of the biggest blinders to these nasty power players, okay? Like people who use their mind and their power to manipulate others, especially telepathically or energetically. Like, that's Five of Swords in the past. That's in the past, okay? This type, so the Five of Swords represents deception, represents mental chaos, mental attack. This is also a card that can very heavily represent psychic attack. It's common to go through psychic attacks as we undergo Kundalini energy, and that's because our guard has to be down. And it's also because we are already going through a lot of vulnerable things. And when all of that happens, take it as a sign that it's reacting to be, it's like when I was talking about how Kundalini can make our experience feel like it's falling apart, and that's because the toxins are inflaming, because they are basically like dissolving and recalibrating their healing. That's kind of like these same situations. Like psychic attacks come through because that is the like links that people have tried to plant into your crown, that's those things reacting and falling apart. And like, you're gonna hear them say, I'm melting, right? And that's what's supposed to happen. So that's a part of that. So I know I went into that and I said this isn't going to be about that, or don't mind that, whatever I said. Like, we're just scooting that aside now, because this is very much a message around who you are, your soul missions, your spirit team, wanting you to know more about them and have them tell you more about yourself and the connection between all things, what's happening right now and what you're undergoing, because you may be going through an experience that feels like you are going through chaos, or like things being sent your way in negative ways, and sure, but like that's besides the point. In those moments when you have the realization that like you start feeling sick and doing all of those things, and you place yourself on judgment, that's going to help you calibrate to having like this light shield that's impenetrable. And now, because you have moved through the judgment of the experience, if this person doesn't stop, not only are they not going to be able to reach you, but now the councils of judgment, those massive, like mountain-sized, sometimes cloaked beings, and it's like when I've seen them like moving through like meadow spaces when I've been in a mountain by the river, like late at night, and they are just like so large, and they when I feel them coming, I get their message of it's time to leave. And so when I leave, I just know that they're moving in, and it's like they're pretty intense and they're pretty powerful. I'm not afraid of them because I can feel like it's just their boundary. That's how they work. But they move into these experiences, and they used the river to send judgment into the valleys of cities and places. Like, it's pretty intense. But like I've seen them walking and working around, like, say there's like a certain situation that I'm so thoroughly non-involved with, but it's like around someone else. I will sometimes, like when they're at a certain milestone of a situation, when I'm standing there talking to them, or maybe like hearing their experience, I will see these judgment councils surrounding this person. And so I know that they're going through judgment. And the thing is if these beings are surrounding this person, they are working for this person. And some people, yourself including, that's why this message is for you, that's why you're seeing this, that's why you're learning about this, or, you know, hearing me talk about this and retaining your own wisdom or knowing from this, is because that's just a part of your spirit team. They are like a council that like is a part of your spirit team. You have like multiple like sections of like your one whole court, but like they are a big in charge influence of your spirit team in your life. And that's why literally what is not for you, or what is not supposed to be experienced by you or to happen by you, you are literally so, like, it manifests in and takes control of your matrix and gets you the hell out of there. So if you've experienced a lot of crazy shit, I'm sorry to say this like so casually, but it was supposed to happen because it has taught you your strength, it has taught you your consciousness, it has taught you your alertness, your self-awareness, it's taught you everything up to this point, and I think you're grateful for this. This isn't something that you necessarily mourn anymore with this judgment card. This is something that you really kind of just like have owned, right? You're now this glowing snake. And so when things happen to the people that these judgment councils serve, right? And they are surrounding this person that they serve, they're watching and they're witnessing and they're stepping in to start watching. Because what happens is if you have moved through judgment and whatever these people like still continue to start trying to like power play and manipulate or whatever, and your council surrounding you, then they will do something about it, and they will also equally be put to the scales, because that is what you have done for this other person, in case you may have not outweighed, or in case you had outweighed the feather. But the thing is you didn't. And so this person has the chance to feel the intense energy of this power surrounding you and consciously adjust tactics that they may be intending to pursue upon you. They can choose to do that, and that is honestly the merciful medicine of the judgment councils, okay? But if they don't, that's their own choice, and that's the law of free will. And maybe that's why they try to discern you, because they think they know this about you. Maybe they know the intensity of your morale, and that you don't fuck around, and that you are actually very genuine. But that's the thing, is you'll only accept and put up with genuinity back. And so they low-key try to discern you, to try to like make you think that you are, you know, the needle in the haystack. But that's just a part of their game. That's just how they work. That's how it's like it's literally their subconscious muscle memory acting through them, because it's a tactic that they've just used and used and used and used and used and used on everyone. Don't make it about you. It's about them, okay? So let it go. If this is like what they need to face, then, you know, maybe it's a milestone that's just like meant to come into their life, that you so happen to be the judgment council of. Like they karmically ran into you because it was time for them to face the council of their own judgment council. Their council led them to your council and is like, it's time. Okay? So don't mind when people get their karma. Like, it's not your fault. All you did was witnessed and observed, but maybe like you got really like you got tired and done, and that's what was supposed to happen, so that way you can do exactly that with your spirit team, because you transcend negative timelines into uplifting ones. And that type of veiled and cloaked manipulation cannot survive if a place or a space or a person or people together or whatever it is of a timeline is, you know, really illuminating in purity. If a timeline and a space of something is purifying, these things, the cloaked natures of these things, can't hide when the magnetism of the etheric nature of that glow is encompassing everything it touches and transmuting it into light energy. They think you're the cloaked one, but that's because maybe your cloak is the Judgment Council's cloak, and they show up dark because they are either seen as look at that. Oh my god. Similar energy, okay? It's medicinal. I very much see this as like, wow, I wouldn't want to fuck with him, but wow, I'm honored to be in your presence. And the other people like see this kind of like subconsciously in your aura, and they're like, right? And they're like really scared because they know that it's just in their muscle memory to like fuck around. And that really makes them look at themselves. We all gotta look at ourselves. We've all done shitty things. We all learn. We all have a choice to learn. It's, you know, what you choose to do with it. If you're gonna sit idly by and, like, fuck around with someone and then end up getting offended because they, like, made you see yourself more, and then, like, you completely disassociate from that person and try to find the next person to do this to see if you can gain some sense of self-power through it. First of all, that's called being an energy vampire. Second of all, like, that's... fuck around and find out. What you get is what you give is what you get. We're done with that energy, okay? Judgment Council is here. And to go into the next layer of that, I'm glad that we could just, like, I honestly feel like we just, like, skimmed the pond and cleared out that shit, right? And now it's all on the side of the bay, and the Judgment Councils are scooping it up and, like, whatever, and they're, like, hauling it away. Hauling it away. And your job is to say thank you. Harm to none. I just want to bring healing and live experience, like liveliness. You want to share that with, like, everyone. You want to embrace that with your people, your community, and it's like any chance you get to be able to do that with someone, you take it. And that's so beautiful. And it's like being able to be so fully excited to experience soulful connection with people is so beautiful, especially when you recognize that, like, maybe that's also something that someone else needed, was someone to just be so genuinely soulful with them. And that, like, is what catalyzes awakenings for people. That's what you're focused on. And that's amazing. And, like, that's new timeline, okay? I want to thoroughly now put that aside. Thank you. We're just gonna burn some leaves. Where's my lighter? There. Some rosemary. Fire will help. I like to, right behind the ears, it's like this part. That's what I like to do. Clean out all of the subconscious, back of the mind. Gunk. It's like pulling out the cords as you do it. Oh, and I feel it. It feels so good. Okay, and now the throat and the heart. I'm sending this to you as well, so I hope you can share this with me. Tethering in the channel. Oh, that feels really good. Okay, I'm in a really excited energy for this now. It's a lot softer. They're pretty intense. They don't fuck around. It's very, like, dragon energy too. The dragons that guard the kingdom. The once known kingdom. I started this out by talking about how there is some galactic nature of energy coming through for this reading. the energy is coming through the moon, and that's because of what you've received from the sun. And if you allow yourself to relate your body, your vessel, your experience to the one collective entity, so the collective, it does, but the collective soul, the entire collective soul, and say its chakra system, you can connect with it as if it is you. And so what you can do is connect the healing work that you do on yourself to it. This does a lot for the collective. It does a lot for the collective in very healing ways, and causes a lot of intense and miraculous shifts. It's like allowing yourself to see yourself as the collective soul in the right moments, like allows your decisions to be like megaphoned into the collective channel and uplift and liberate the collective karmic trends that happen because of, skimming the collective pond. As you are moving through clearing yourself and it's connected to this collective essence body, this is where we're going to start talking about starseeds and galactics, because I'm going to talk about it as if it's just what it is to me, because they are what they are to me. It might be something that's fairly new to you, and if you are, watching this, I hope that, I can help influence, what you're learning through the process and your expansion, because it's really time for us to take our expansion of knowing, especially with who they are and what they're calling us to interact with them for and with, and like what that collaborative exchange can create upon this world. The energy behind this Judgment card, right? The Judgment card, I know you can't see it on the table, and then the moon here. There has been one of the largest waves, and I would say that this is very much, oh my gosh, so on January 25th, we will be having a total planetary alignment. This is synchronistic with this, okay? And so when we influence the collective, when we make liberating decisions and are moving through this Kundalini process, it's allowing the magnetism of the fluidity of the Earth's true magnetic, shield and barrier and field, and like the processes of magnetism and etheric functioning, right? Those things start to evolve on the planet as well. And that's also where like things that are made out of like false nature or like damaging processes or like equations, whatever, those things start to fall apart. And this is where we're moving into New Earth. We're literally creating New Earth, and the old one is falling apart. And this is because of the moon. And when this moon card here, because we influence the collective force, and then the collective force can then influence us to the next level. It's literally like the collective Kundalini. Say that one collective entity is the entity of the collective, the one unit of the collective is calibrating Kundalini, and that's why we are, because it's going through it, and it's like the signals, and then we send the signals, and then it's just like that exchange of healing, and that's why it's all one. It's like sending those Kundalini signals to us, and as we send it back, saying that it has taken on effect and we're ready to move to the next thing, which is like where we're at, it's starting to do another calibration to a whole nother thing. But what's happening with the moon is the generative energy from the moon is shifting, because maybe the type of energy that the moon uses now is, I wouldn't say artificial, but it's different. And that energy in the moon is purifying, repurifying back to its divine state, let's say. Its divine functioning, its divine use. Maybe, let's say, if you roll with me here, the moon's a machine. It's a very large, powerful magnet. And the Orions are very grateful to say power is being restored. I just got a lot of different downloads, so I paused. Power is being restored and power is being reclaimed. The control boards, the matrixical control boards. Over the last few years, it has been really, it's been a challenge. The light workers the genuine light workers have gone through it when it has come to pulling in healing energy for the planet. It's been very dense, and there has been a lot of trials and tribulations and, adjustments being made, and it's like really getting prepared, putting on the suit to go out into space, almost like you're suiting up for like a situation or a thing that takes careful strategy, intention, and seriousness, like taking your job seriously. This is like coming in to say, like, you speaking and being some form of wielder of this energy is your job. You know this. You know that you have a job for the divine. But it's becoming more serious, and it's allowing you to really liberate your voice and allow yourself to take it seriously, to make the time for this to be a part of your life. The moon energy is going to start getting really intense, and especially, like, let's even say, like, the intensity also comes from like this Pluto and Aquarius energy that is starting to really do its work on our timelines. And being that we're just in the beginning cusp of it, it's like that energy is starting to come online, and it's slowly just going to slowly, maybe rapidly start like dismantling things and shifting things and liberating things where necessary. And everything, planetary energy, like lunar energy, solar energy, all of these things are going to start getting really intense because they're all kind of in intense states. So the collective intensity of it all is like gonna take things to the next level. Here's the thing is, for you, this is gonna be very like life-changing in all of the best ways. And sometimes you might have moments where I would say like you'll feel a little worried about something happening either in your body, to your body, or like your health, but it's just like taking you to that knowing of being more intentional about taking care of your health. So this Orion energy coming through, disclosing that power is now being restored. There has been enough energy that was able to be sent, signaled, and basically like shot to electrify something. Like there's been enough power, enough wattage collectively that like represents like that energy of work being done, the light that has grown from it. We now have like the higher power of like, or like the proper wattage to start using this, using the control board, especially of the moon, using the moon intentionally, working with the moon cycles, and using it to also like apply influence, using those times and energies and like things, your practices, to intentionalize applying this energy to the collective. Like, oh my god, we're gonna do so much work, you guys. So this is a very casual message, but it's also about a lot of intense things as well, so thank you. The moon here, followed by this Five of Swords, is let's say this is the etheric highway of telepathic signals, okay? Let's have that, let's see it that way. The etheric highway of telepathic signals, there has been intention of sending a lot of false information into that space collectively. And this could be too just like manifested through like in smaller it's like it manifests through in smaller situations where it'll be like, it could be someone like one person in your life doing this to you, but like if you look at it on a larger scale, a collective scale, let's say that those small little one peoples are like the elites, you know, doing that upon the world. Okay, so it's like it's the same. And that's kind of too like what we experience in our lives can have like a really good disclosure of like what's happening on a larger scale. And sometimes we experience those things on a small scale to get the, oh, it's larger, this is what's happening larger. So yeah, it's like that manipulation, the Five of Swords, etheric the etheric signals, the etheric telepathic signals being sent through this like highway. All of the maliciousness and like false intentions sent through it are being skimmed out of that pond. The King of Cups, I see this as like I want to very much like say that's more so like a couple different energy forms come through with this. Is like Vishnu, Lord Vishnu, and it's like he had this like lotus flower, and he's like offering it to you to allow you to like hold it and integrate into your being, like it's medicine of peace and peacefulness and tranquility and restoration, and especially like allowing you to let yourself soften your tough skin. The lotus blooms out of mud, right? This pond, this lotus is yours and you've grown it in your pond because that's like, it's like the pearl growing, right? Or this lotus was able to really just become something out of darkness, and maybe even out of like not knowing what it's going to become, because it simply just relies on its nature of becoming. It doesn't have to think to become, it just becomes. And that shows like how just like natural you have become who you are, and become your abilities, become your soul's essence, become your truth, become all of your skill sets and your talents. It just simply is. It became because it was simply meant to become. And it's like him handing you this, and it's kind of like he's saying like, you grew this. I'm just highlighting it to you. I want you to pause and take a moment to look at what you've grown, and use this medicine for yourself. You can take your admiration for something like this so much deeper than just, holding it in your mind or even just in your heart. It's like allowing the energy to be pulled through and touch the cells and the etheric channels of your entire being. Like it wants to really move through the essence of your body, the energy of this lotus flower. And it's going to bring a lot of healing, and it's almost like I'm seeing like anti-inflammation. The Orion Council wants to help you remove the energy that suffocates your voice. The energy that prevents you from sharing your new messages that this world doesn't fully know yet. Remove your fear around being the chosen one for these messages. They chose you because they trust you. They chose you because they are inspired and admire your voice and your way of being able to deliver these messages. And they learn a lot from you, despite your humanity maybe being a little intimidated to hear them say they learn a lot from you. Definitely, so I'm sending this to you as well. This energy work, but I recommend going into just space of mindful meditation. I recommend laying down for this. You could be sitting down, but I recommend your eyes closed, and you'll know if this is for you. Call upon the Orion Council to assist you in throat chakra healing. The next energy was the Four of Cups here. And with this Four of Cups, I got Archangel Gabriel coming through to deliver something. He's a messenger. He's a bringer of information, of news, of things sometimes, but usually it's messages. Gabriel, what do you have to say? Winter, there's snowy cards here. So we have Zachriel, Angel of Memory. Shalikiel, Angel of Snow. Shatiel, Angel of Silence, and Dot, Emptiness. Clearing out the pond to purify and make room for the right channels to... It's like clearing the ponds allows the channels to like just more naturally flow to where they're supposed to go. Instead of maybe sometimes these like these channels of these rivers like getting led astray. It strengthens the paths of which they flow, and maybe the barriers, right? So Archangel Gabriel wants you to know that with like a lot of this energy is all about like it being cold, desolate, frozen, maybe things being still or something not changing, being in a space where like you have gone through something for a longer period of time that like hasn't changed, even though like you're consciously trying to like hope for the best and liberate yourself through the process. Like it is moving. It might not seem like it's moving, but it's like you doing that work is what you were supposed to do. So congrats on doing what you were supposed to do. You passed the test and you're liberating yourself through this, and it's like taking your strength to the next level. And it's like that's because you've minded your business despite like other people trying to like make their shit your business. And this is allowing you to connect to the larger span of interweb of knowing. It's like getting ready to like tune your channel up another decimal, another gear. And this purification, this liberation that's happening is so that way your mind can hone into a larger, more universal channel. And this emptiness is like the things that are, as you liberate, it's like slowly removing these things from your physical body, healing it as well. And that's why it might seem like it's taking some time, because like your body needs to move through its healing at its own pace. You can't overwhelm that. Let me see what time it is. Okay. 1:32, by the way. Okay, so it's like him bringing Archangel Gabriel. He just like showed me like, handed me, it's like, here, drink this. And then like I looked up and then there was this like 4 of cups, right? Here, drink this. Drinking more water. Maybe too, minding the water that you drink, minding where the water comes from. Like, make sure you're drinking clean water. If I'm seeing like toxic, harsh metals that cause damage to your throat chakra, I know it's like it's basically like, I know like it might make you go more out of your way to be able to obtain this water, but like use your privilege. Hang on. Drink this. And then it's like Vishnu was like, hold this. No, he's like, drink this. You're literally being offered like these medicinal tools. Go into meditation and like when he says drink this, like take the chalice, literally use your mind's eye to like visualize taking the chalice from him, and like you see the fluid. Oh, and it's almost like, whoa, this isn't water. This is not water. This is like pearlescent fluid. It is like Wow. It's not shimmery, but it's like just fluorescent, like not milky, but kind of. Drink the fluid. I just got like this orb. In the very center of it was like pure white, and then it faded into a much like more thick yellow aura, and then it faded back to white, and then it faded into green, and then like this like purpley pink, and it's like pulsating and I just see it, and then it's like a flower like a mandala or like succulent flower like turning as it's like, okay, Gabriel is really like Vishnu, Gabriel, the Orions, like collectively, like this type of energy is sending energy. Can I send it through the phone? Just receive. It's like a big pearl. I'm sorry, it's a bubble. It's a pearly bubble. I got the, it's a bubble. Okay, I'm gonna send this to you. I want you to visualize. Oh, it's gonna feel so good. I want you to visualize receiving this bubble and like pulling it through the phone and holding this like big pearl milky bubble over your head. And then I want you to visualize popping it and feeling its mist like rain over your body. This healing energy, that's how the energy transfer is happening. It's a bubble, and they want you to pop it and feel its mist. I just went away, so I hope you're okay with this, y'all. Oh, that's lovely. Feel it like rain over your body and like almost feel it like loosen up your throat chakra. Wow. Your Akashic etheric bank is being purified, and something about your Akashic etheric bank is like larger than the size of the earth. It's larger than the size of our galaxy. It's larger than the size of the known universe we have. You can use the Akashic etheric bank to your content, like your heart's content, because you're trusted with it. Of course, if you were to misuse this, it could be taken away from you. But that's the thing, is you don't use it, you don't misuse it. 111 on the timer. 111. That's good energy. That was lovely. Okay, so really it's just about like receiving this information that we've talked about. We talked about a lot today. Just sort of like taking it and being like, okay, and receiving the healing, and let this timeless message, I guess, help serve you, like remain in your memory. It's not focusing. Remain in your memory. Whatever. Remain in your memory in the back, you know. And so, like, when you move through time, through this next little blip after watching this, almost like use the memory of it as like tools of knowing. A lot is about to happen, a lot is changing, a lot shifting. I thought that we were gonna maybe go into like maybe deeper other things regarding this stuff, but that is for the right time. Thanks for being here. Please like and subscribe if you are so called, if this message resonated with you. Being that I'm switching over from TikTok, I've utilized YouTube a little bit, but not thoroughly, and so I would really like to do that, and to do it I also very much need your support. And so I very much appreciate you if you do please feel called to do so, and help me grow as well. Thanks. It makes me sad. I wonder, like, I'm just curious to what's gonna happen as we all like drift away from that world and start utilizing other things. I do love YouTube, but I'm a little sad that it takes it away from. I love that I can post long videos, like really long videos. What I don't like is not being able to engage with you guys more, besides like through comments or like following you back, or just like, you know, gaining more community. This isn't not necessarily like a full communal front, but it's a start, and we will stay tuned for communal fronts because those are still happening. I'm working on a lot of things in regards to that as well. So I will share about those things when they're ready. But I love you, and I'm grateful for you being here. I'm grateful to get to witness this. This is such a blessing, and I'm so honored to get to read for this type of energy. And you are exactly the type of energy that influences me to have so much passion about my job as, you know, a medium, a channel, an Akashic seer, a wisdom keeper. You know, this type of energy really makes it all worth it, and also helps me take myself to the next level. I love you. I'll see you next time.